It's hard to say why they're different. I just know they are. I don't know that any sentence can do them justice. Maybe world beaters.
When I saw the quality of what they did, I called my wife and said, these kids are doing some wonderful thing. Let's encourage them.
There's somebody who was like 6 or 8 or something, and then the oldest was like, and then they all appear in their films, and everything is done in-house. Look.
I thought was a really interesting and fascinating piece about what it means to sort of be an artist and pursue art in situations in which it's not easy and it's not conducive to becoming an artist. It's difficult to do it in general, but the backdrop of the piece with Nigerian artists in an environment in which there's not an abundance of financial resources, there's not an abundance of internet connection, access to equipment. I thought showcasing the story was incredibly fascinating, and I believe I had some reference to it. I remember the J.J. Abrams component, I think. I know Franklin Leonard was in the piece, the guy who runs the Blacklist. So I remember some of these dynamics, but I didn't really understand the backdrop of the group and what they had been doing and sort of how they had gotten up to that point. And I thought the piece was really great in showcasing their artistry and sort of their resiliency to becoming artists. And it was really a great sort of inspirational and I think in a lot of ways academic way of sort of showing people how to be resourceful and how to sort of not have to be a slave to industry dynamics in terms of your creativity and being eager to do it yourself at first so that you can prove to people that you can get the resources to do it at a bigger level. So I thought the critics was very well done, clearly created with a sense of passion and empathy towards the main characters that create a component of endearment.
I think from the very beginning, before you even get into really who these young men are, you can already sense the passion and the urgency and the drive to be creative. And I think that was really bolstered by the filmmaking style, which, is on behalf of both the directors and the subjects themselves. And I found it fascinating that COVID-19 inhibited the directors from being able to create it how they originally envisioned, because watching these young men and these young people like direct their own talking heads and interview themselves was was such a cool innovation. And it's almost the cooler version, I think, of and the more in-depth version of what they were going to accomplish had COVID-19 not happened. So it's really cool to see the fruits of innovation in times of uncertainty, and they really captured that with with their interviews, which ranged from everything from inspiring to somber to introspective. They were really fascinating subjects, and sort of watching them like construct their narrative through like the lens of their filmmaking was like a really cool way to go about telling their story. I think the directors did a really great job of highlighting these young people's like their abilities, and having the shorts interspersed throughout was really cool. It made me want to go and research them further. And also the interviews with the parents. I think that was a really smart inclusion. So yeah, all around just really great.
I actually knew them already by myself because I saw them pretty much anywhere between social media and the internet. I think it was a documentary very well done, talking about a community that, as they themselves say, is hard to believe they actually exist, because in Nigeria, they say, yeah, it's easy to find a community of musicians or a community of artists, but it's very difficult, if not impossible, to find a community of filmmakers in a country that doesn't make much movies. So it was great to see how they got together and they managed to shoot all these sci-fi fantastic movies with an excellent production value, using just green screens, and then with also in the documentary with the remote film direction, since COVID was there and there wasn't the chance to cooperate in person together. So I think it was a well done short with an excellent cinematography, and I really loved the use of the interviews. Mixed with B-roll images and videos. Very well done.
Just to see this group of young filmmakers in Nigeria making no excuses for themselves and just going out there and doing what they love, and using their resources and raising money to pursue their passion. It just goes to show, like, if you want to do something, just go out and do it, and make no excuses. Um, so yeah, I really enjoyed their story, and hearing about them. Um, Seeing the footage that they've created with what they have was really cool, and also seeing that work progress and get better and better with each film. So I thought it was really nice that we got to see what these guys have made, film wise. And I liked how all the interviews were conducted against a green screen with special effects. I thought that was a nice touch there. And I also liked hearing the personal stories from each of the guys, and how, you know, their families initially didn't support them, and just proving everybody wrong. Um, I thought that it was a great message from them, to just pursue your passions, and don't let anything get you down.
It actually brought me to tears when they made a video thanking J.J. Abrams for the new equipment. Their joy was amazing. It was so great to hear the interviews showing the progression of some parents who were unsure initially, but then realized that their children's passion to create films was real. I like seeing some of their early film work. You could see the talent and creativity even though it was not flashy from a technical side.
The whole premise of this sort of documentary of films, or whatever it is, really just made this interesting framework for this whole piece. It was just a real delight to see these filmmakers just really dig in and enjoy the craft, and like they say, like, make no excuses for it not being the best quality that it could be. I think they really have like raised the bar from what people might expect out of Nigeria. It's just, again, fascinating to see. The whole piece was put together really well. Definitely glad I learned about the critics, and got to sort of, yeah, explore what they're all about through this piece.
Wow, this was so moving. I enjoyed every moment of it. From learning about their company, how the idea came to be in Kaduna, Nigeria, hearing from people who supported them and their parents who were not at all into the idea. They wouldn't back them up at the beginning, but that didn't discourage them. Their passion and talent are quite heartwarming and deserve the utmost admiration. I am looking forward to watching more of their productions, and kudos to them for keeping the dream going and actually fulfilling their dreams.